All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Vanessa and I are here. We are going to take you through the process of writing an entire evaluation in Raintree. Along the way, we will give you some hints and suggestions on the way we have done things in Therapy Source and the easiest way to make that happen in Raintree. Bear with us as we are not used to making these recordings, and so we may fumble up a little as we go, but hopefully this will be helpful for you guys. So Vanessa, if you can share your screen, and we'll start with an evaluation.
Right. So I already have actually on my dashboard, someone already checked in, Luke. So if you want to check someone in that's in one of your appointments right now, I would right click, check in, and then the patient will come into, and then all this stuff will pop up. You're just going to click later, back out. When I check in a patient, it'll be in my check-in box. Once I double click that patient, it'll come into the in-clinic exam room. As you can see, Luke is already in there, so I will just double click him. And then this would be the start of kind of evaluation here.
All right, so you guys can see now we are in an evaluation note in Raintree. I just want to highlight, I know most of you watch the videos, but I'm just going to highlight a couple things quickly as we go, just so you're aware. Anything that is highlighted in orange is mandatory to close the note. So you are going to have to put something in any of those fields that have orange in them. Vanessa is going to go through and add some information for a shoulder patient, and we will go through and write this note together. The medical history is going to pop up. You guys are going to have medical history. If the patient has completed it electronically or at the kiosk, you will have information in there that's pulled forward. If not, you can just hover over the box and click A to add.
I don't think it will let you in the
oh, it's great. It's grayed out right now. Sorry.
Yeah.
You will have that information, sorry, from the subjective side of things or scanned in. Yep. All right, so you can just go straight to the subjective tab. Mechanism of onset. This is where you would have normally done your reason for referral in Therapy Source. You're going to just free type your little blurb of why the patient is coming in for therapy. We will be working on templates for the system that are global for everybody to use. The system currently does have templates that are set up in it. There will be another video to show you how to access those. You can save those and make those your own. Going forward, we will also be creating global templates for our burger staff that are as efficient and set up as we can to think as you guys are used to thinking in kind of Therapy Source terms. That being said, as you've watched the videos, anything that has a box around it that has the little plus or X button on it is basically what Raintree calls a pick list. If you click on the plus button, a list of chief complaints will come up. You can search to find using the quick find button. You can also add these to your favorites list if it's something that you do often for your shoulder patients. If you click the little button at the bottom that has the star on it, that will add it to your favorites list. And now if she were to scroll over to that favorites tab, which it automatically does for her when you come into the system, those will be there for you. Hit the save button. To click on the severity, you're going to just click on that one line. If all of the severities are the same, you can actually control and highlight them all and then click in the box and put it in. It will auto default and add them all for you. If they're different, you will have to do one line at a time. You can see the nice thing about part of this system is that you don't have to find your pathway to be able to get to the key components of your evaluation. A lot of them are already on the screen for you, and you just have to enter the information. The questionnaire box is where you're going to find your functional questionnaires for your patients that we are using. Mostly, again, we are using the 5. So the cervical disability index, the quick dash, the oswestry, the lower extremity functional scale, the upper extremity functional scale. I know there are some other ones that other clinics are using, and those will be listed in here as well.
I'll just go through really quickly, fill this out.
Thank you. As Vanessa is doing that, if you look at the bottom of the screen, there is a little button that you can click that says include in narrative or score only. If you hit the score only button, which is what we're used to doing, obviously only the score will pop up in your documentation when it prints. If you hit include in narrative, the entire test with all of your documentation will show in your note.
F10 to save it.
We've got our quick-fash in there. If there was some contraindications, we would add those in.
So say as a post-surgical patient, you could put some stuff in there for your PTAs in there.
You also have the option, Vanessa, will you go back in there for a second for me? If you don't find something quickly that you want, you also have the option to freeform text. So that little piece of paper with the pencil on it, if you hit that.
I think I have to be out here. There we go.
Now you can actually freeform. So let's just say it was history of cancer or whatever it is. There you go. Latex allergy, history of cancer, no ultrasound. You can actually free type and add that into your documentation as well. Okay. Let's say that we wanted to add a goal for the quick dash. So later on in the system, you'll see that there's actually a tab for goals. But you can, this is a little bit more like how we're used to doing things in Therapy Source. You can, from the note, highlight anything that you've typed in there and add a goal to it by going up to the top and adding goal. So you will see it auto populates what the score was, and then you just have to add in what you wanted. You can choose short or long term. And then if you F10 for save, now you've got a goal attached to that statement. So that's how we're used to doing things that you can do in any of the areas of this documentation, which is really nice.
And then you could always delete and put kind of whatever you want, but this one is related to lifting.
Always F10 to save. Now we've got goal added there as well. So you could do that on any section of this note. If you've got your functional status down here that you can add in. Again, you can freeform type, or you can find the ones that you like, create them in your favorites, and that way there'll be a shorter list for you to choose from, or you can use the quick find to search.
There we go.
Perfect, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to look at, let's say you were not in an evaluation and you wanted to look at previous notes, you'll notice on the bottom of the page there's view initial eval, view last progress note, view last note, and view all previous notes. This is a very easy and quick way for you to get to note history. It come in handy when you're doing your daily follow-ups. Any other free typing subjective information that you want to put in there, you can add into this other subjective comments box. Now, there is the option in the system to create user abbreviations. So let's just say that we wanted to say that this patient had pain at end range. We can actually create a user abbreviation so you don't have to type that entire sentence out. To do that in any free form type box, you're going to hit Control E. And now you're in a free form box. So we're going to do pain at end range. And then you're going to highlight that, right click, select to user abbreviations. Now it's important here that you don't put in a normal abbreviation or word that you would normally type. So if you wanted to see, you would not put pain as the abbreviation here, because obviously that will come up through all of your systems. You will have to come up with some sort of abbreviation that doesn't, you wouldn't normally type. So P @ is a great way to do that. I think.
Got to import.
No, I think we already, did we already maybe save this one? Because it doesn't have the add button there. Try something different.
Like that?
Yeah.
No. P-A-E-R.
Yeah, see how the add button's there now?
Yeah.
Add that. And then close and close the editor. So now if Vanessa were to go in and just type PAER, there you go. That system already comes up. Sorry.
No, that was my fault.
Okay. And then if you press the space bar here,
There we
it
go.
will actually auto-populate that verbiage for you. So you guys can play around and add this in. There are already a whole bunch of global user abbreviations that are in there, ABD for abduction, those kind of things. If you want to look at that, just hit Control E again. And highlight and right click. And because she has just this one set, as you create your list of abbreviations, you'll be able to go in here. If you can't remember what words you used or which terminology you used to save it, you will be able to see that in that list there. Thank you. If you want to look at the global ones, if you go up to Tools and do Global Abbreviation Manager, you will see a list of all the ones that are already built into the system.
Nice.
And you can start using those for your documentation. Okay, perfect. All right, you can close that down, Vanessa.
Okay.
All right, so then we've filled in everything that we need to on this objective. We're just going to go up to the tabs there and go over to our objective. You'll see at the top, there's templates there for general description or therapy visits for general notes. If you go ahead, go do what you're going to do there, V.
Well, I was like, is there a shoulder one? I'm trying to.
Oh, that's.
There we go. There we go.
So if you double click on that shoulder exam, now everything that's kind of common and normal to test on a shoulder patient will already come up on the screen. You'll see you have different tabs there at the top, range of motion versus gross upper extremity range of motion. There's flexibility, manual muscle testing, functional observations, all kinds of things there. On the left, you'll also see that it gives you normal range of motion for each movement.
And then whatever you leave blank will not go onto your note. Just FYI.
Perfect. Maybe want to add just a quick manual muscle test, or, oh, that's a good thing to notice at the above and below. So on this page, it will always give you the option to add or choose unremarkable for the joint above and below the joint that you are actually treating. So that's kind of a nice way to know if you've done a quick screen of the cervical or the elbow because of the shoulder, to just note that it was unremarkable, or if there are things you need to add in, you would just hit add elbow or cervical and it would open up that information for you.
Yep, and it'll be right up here at the top. Underneath your range of motion, you have your shoulder, and then your elbow would be right next to it if you marked it add. And then MMT.
Perfect. All right, and maybe let's just add one function observation.
Oh, and the comments part.
No, on the next tab up top, the function.
Oh, I gotcha.
New tab.
Okay.
Just to make one.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these pulled in from the template that was already there. Let's do.
And you can just choose one of them. You don't have to put something in everything.
Yeah.
Perfect. If you want to add an actual goal statement that shows up in your goal thing, you would actually hit the add goal to this statement up top.
There we go.
There we go. If you wanted to be specific, patient table 2, reach behind back 2, undo don and doff bra, whatever it is. Yep. Awesome. All right. Now we are, so she's in that shoulder evaluation. She's going to hit the back button to get out of that. That will take her back to the objective page. Save the changes. There we go. Perfect. If you did vital signs or observations or any other objective finding comments you wanted to add, you could add that at the bottom of the screen. Let's move on to the activities. All right, because she did the shoulder template, this stuff auto-populated. So she could actually click on these and edit them, or she could add things to them as she wanted to.
So I could delete certain ones. So maybe I didn't do that one. I can just delete it. And then I can go in and add. We did some isometrics. T-band shoulder extension. Click save.
Perfect. Now, if you wanted to add reps and sets and time to each one of these, you can do so. You could also put just total time in that first therapeutic exercise box and not put any other stuff in. It's up to you how you want to do that. You could, under that total TS time and instruction, you could actually just type out and list the exercises that you wanted and put a total number of minutes. It's up to you how you do that. So Vanessa, can you go in and just in the first line, the TE, just put in, so click on the time, there you go, and just put in a total amount of minutes. That's all being billed under Therex. Perfect. There we go. So it is important to note, you do have the opportunity, you'll see that on this page, there is a transfer to charges button up at the top there that is orange. I highly recommend that you do not click that button on this screen. You will have the ability to do that on the charges page, and it's actually easier to do it from that screen. So the orange button will go away once you go to the charges screen and actually hit the transfer to charges. I would not do it from this screen. That is a recommendation from Raintree. You are, however, going to have to add in total time. You'll see at the bottom of the page there, it's going to ask for a total. It should add that all up for you as you go. So Vanessa, could you just maybe put in some time for the manual stuff or something else too, just to show that happening?
Oh, you mean, okay, I see what you're saying. Like this one?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I have to put perform, sorry.
That's okay.
There we go.
Perfect. It'll auto-populate that time for you. All right.
Now, on the Medicare patients, Kim, there's a time in and time out down here, correct?
Correct. So on the Medicare patients at the bottom of the screen, you will see a time in and time out. You are going to have to enter the total time in and time out for those patients. And it is important to note that you will have to put an A or a P after the time to delineate AM or PM. It will not let you close the note if you do not put that A or P in. So just a reminder for you guys to take care of that step.
Yeah.
Anything else on this screen you have, Vanessa?
No, the big thing was the time for me.
Yeah, that one was we learned that one the hard way, definitely. All right,
Yeah.
we'll go to the assessment section.
Oh, wait, before we go,
Oh, yes.
over here is all your E-stem and moist heat, all your non-time codes.
Perfect. Thank you for pointing that out.
There we go.
Awesome.
And see how I highlighted both of these and put everything in that I put in this first line goes into the second one as well.
Perfect. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, assessment section. Oh. So because we used the shoulder patient, this is a good way to show them the jump markers. Because we used the shoulder template, this auto-populated from the shoulder template. You'll see that there's some at signs there. Those are called jump markers. Will you put those back in, Vanessa, just so we can show them how to jump between the two of them?
Yeah.
Those are indicating to you that this is where you're going to have to add individual information for your patient. They've pre-populated a lot of the sentence for you, but it shows you that there's more information that needs to be added for the individual patient you're dealing with. If you hit control period, it will take you to, hit it again, there you go. It will jump you through those jump markers. So when you first get into the screen, if you just click right next to the very first letter of the P for patient, it will start you and then hit your control period. It will automatically jump you to the first set where you need to enter more information for your patient. If she hits control period again, it will then take her to the next part. So this comes in really handy when you're using the template stuff.
Yeah, that's really nice.
You can obviously edit any of this information to make it match for you and your needs for any individual patient.
All right.
All right. You'll notice that the other thing that we need to do at the bottom is the diagnosis. There's the rehab potential and the prognosis, which is great.
Oh, here's the time in and out.
Yep.
I forgot. I thought it was on activities.
She hit control F, or excuse me, she hit F to find, and now she can search. If you know the letters, you can actually just type them, or the numbers and letters, you can actually just type it in the screen as well.
I'm just going to click this one just because it's there.
That's totally fine. Here's the time in and out buttons. You are going to have to put in time in and out, and remember to put that A and P afterwards. A or P, I should say. Perfect.
All right. Goals.
Looks like we missed something in the assessment section. Oh, the complexities. Yep. So click on that complexity tab right next to your, yep. And so guys, this is where you're going to put in the information that will be used to determine whether you have low, moderate, or high complexity evaluation. These are the characteristics or disciplines that the Medicare has set up to create, whether it's low, moderate, or high. It will auto-populate for you depending on your sources, which one you have. You are going to have to do this step. I do have a question out to them about turning it off for non-Medicare patients since it's not mandatory. And again, just remember that this does not impact our reimbursement at this point.
Okay.
We'll go to our goals screen. Here's where we can, so this is all of the goals that they had set to pull forward from the shoulder template. Again, guys, this is where we're going to start to create some global user templates that are burger friendly, shall we say. This is a lot of information, but obviously you would choose any of the ones that you wanted to include, and you could delete anything that you did not want to include. The ones that you actually created, you'll see are already in there, as well as all of the ones that they had that were already defaulted to the template.
Mhm.
We go to our plan screen. Again, this all defaulted to the template. You could add or subtract as necessary. If you were doing this on your own and you hadn't pulled forward that shoulder template, then you would just hit the plus button to add in, or for free form text what you wanted to do. Okay. You're going to put in your, that's going to pull forward again from the template. You're going to put in your frequency and duration here. And then hit that manually adjust plan of care dates, just so it will add or subtract any visits that you already had. And then you're good to go from this screen. If you were going to develop home exercise program, you could click on that develop home exercise program button, and we are working on the link between MedBridge, and so it would then frequent you and take you into MedBridge to allow you to work in that system. All right, we'll go to the charges section. Here is where I want you to hit that transfer from activities button. This will pull forward anything that you did from the activities button. And it will alert you to any of the rules that we have set up in the system. We are currently working on setting up all those rules for you so that you don't have to worry about this stuff, but it will highlight anything that you need to know from this perspective on that screen. I don't think there's anything else you need to do on this page. Once you've transferred those charges, you can go to the tracking section.
And this is just because I didn't have a prescription in for him.
Correct. So normally this already would have been put in by the front office and you wouldn't have to worry about this side of things. But
Yes.
if for some reason you've started documentation and that hadn't been added yet, this is where you could add it yourself.
Yeah, and if you guys are playing around with the training module, you'll have to put this in order to sign off on the note if you want your PTAs to kind of work through some notes.
Perfect.
F10
F1
to
to
save.
save.
Yep.
Awesome. And there we go, guys. So we are now going to sign off on the note. All right, so this is where your view is going to come up for you to see what actually it looks like when it's going to print out. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see multiple options. I really love these options here. So you can save and sign off on the note individually by just hitting the save and sign off button. You can hit save and mark reviewed. If you do that, it will save all of your documentation. And at the end of the day, you can actually put one signature in for all of the notes that you have saved and marked as reviewed. That way you don't have to continuously put in your password to save and sign off on every individual note. So this is a great option. If you have a PT assistant or an OT assistant that's working with you, you may want to just sign off those notes right off the bat. But this is a nice option at the end of the day to just be able to put your password in once and sign off on all the notes you've completed for the day. For now, Vanessa, you can just hit save and mark reviewed.
Okay.
That's fine. All right. From this screen, guys, just to break it down again, if you've watched the videos, you know this. Anything that's scheduled that has not been checked in for that day is going to show under this appointments box. Once the patient has been checked in for the day, it will move over into your checked in box. Once you open the documentation, it will move into the in-clinic exam room. And once you have closed off that note and signed it, it will move into the checked out box. You'll notice up front that you can change the dates to go backwards or forwards, or to include multiple dates of service so that you can actually keep on track for the open notes that you have. Anything else you would add from this screen, Vanessa?
No, I think this is the big stuff for just the clinicians. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, hopefully that is helpful for you to kind of learn in Raintree how to make the system work for you using some of the similar tactics that we've used in Therapy Source previously. Hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to Vanessa or myself. We're happy to be supportive of you. Thanks again.